In this video, we will take a look at the framework that we will use in order to complete the user experience project that will be introduced to you at the end of this lesson. So here, without further ado, here's the process. It is essentially a 5-step process starting from define all the way to test and co-create. In the define phase, we take a look at the project statement that has been given to us, and we will do some secondary research to find out a little bit more about the context of the challenge or the project statement and try to align all the team members so that they have a common understanding of what this project statement entails. Following that, we will go into the empathy phase where we start to try and understand what our users go through. And how do we do that? There are a number of ways that we can approach this. We can use observations, interview them, build their customer journey, use a tool called GMAP, as well as a persona. In this module, we will be completing the rest except for the observation section. Although, if you are keen, do check with your tutor on how you can actually conduct an observation to enhance the outcome. In the third phase, we will look at ideating and concept development, where we will start trying to identify possible solutions to the problems that we uncovered or the insights that we have uncovered in the empathy phase. This is where your creativity comes in and you start to explore different options and build low fidelity prototypes. Once you are more or less certain about some of the concepts that you have, that is where you can build a high fidelity prototype, and we'll be using a tool called Figma. Lastly, you will test out your prototype with the users, preferably those that you originally interviewed, and co-create with them as well. So finally, we have the test and co-create phase. To give you a better understanding of the entire journey, you can actually look at a user experience case study done by Stacey Wang. The link is actually in your notes, and she actually did this user experience case study on FitBit. This is fictitious, but it was a experience or customer experience project that was very well done. Hence, I have adapted it to explain the concepts or the phases of the journey. So I just extracted a few segments of what she has done, and just like to bring your attention at the start of the project, she actually mentioned that FitBit is a great tracker that motivates her to be active, but having encountered a few problems, she decided to put on her UX designer hat and to venture into the wild to see if people share her problems and if she could make improvements to the app. So it started off with a challenge where she encountered some problems with their iOS app, and she's actually now going to start on the empathy phase. So to empathize with her users, she first built a persona, identifying things such as their behaviors, their demographics, and their needs and goals, followed by trying to understand what are some situations where they would like to use FitBit. So here you have three different situations where the first being that she wants to join her friends to go and gym together so they can feel connected. Second being that she has a New Year's resolution to exercise so that she can have a healthy lifestyle. And finally, she wants to lose a few pounds so that she can look good in a bikini. So those are the three what we call need statements that you will eventually also do as part of your empathy phase. So she went about going to interview people, asking them about specific actions that they did. So if they did a chest and arms workout, but they forgot to record the exercise, how would they do it on their Fitbit app? And she would actually start to observe how they did it. So this is also a phase that you will go into, getting your users to actually perform certain activities so that you can find out if they are actually running into issues when doing these activities. Having collected the results, she then put together some of the statistics and tried to group them together. So we will be doing things in a slightly different way. by using this tool called a GMAP, but the outcome that we are looking for is similar. And finally, she looked at some of the issues that people face when they use the iOS app or the FitBit app. So they missed certain buttons and they weren't able to log the exercise because they couldn't find the icon or didn't relate the icon to logging an exercise. So finally, she went on to ideate for a solution. So she started sketching and coming up with potential solutions to the pain points. And this is what she did. We will also be going through this activity where we will start building simple prototypes of your ideas before going into high fidelity ones. We will be explaining what a high fidelity prototype in a later lesson. So just hang tight for the time being. And finally, she built this prototype. So this is actually a clickable prototype. We will be equipping you with the skills to build a prototype like this that looks almost like the real app. And finally, she actually went on to test this new app with some of the people that she interviewed. And she identified that, hey, prior to the redesign, only 2 out of 5 people could find and track where to track or log an exercise, but after the redesign, 5 out of 5 managed to do so. Similar to the first pain point, she also saw dramatic improvements in the rest of the pain points after the redesign. Having introduced the process through a short case study, let's go on to take a look at the guiding principles that determine if interface is a good user experience. See you in the next video.